Welcome back, everyone, here live at GDC. I'm your host, James Montemagno, and today I am crazy excited because we've had a lot of talk about Visual Studio, Git, TFS, Git source control, this stuff, but we're bringing in the heavy hitter, Arturo from Unity.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
How are you? Thanks for having me here.
I'm so excited because it's fun to talk to a bunch of Microsoft people. That's great. But at the same time, there's tons of developers, a lot of my good friends using Unity to build games. And like we have this great collaboration with Visual Studio for the editing part of it. I'm a C# developer, so even though I was in the Unity editor doing stuff, I still kind of felt pretty comfortable jumping out editing C#, and so many cool announcements coming out, so I'm really excited to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having us here.
Yeah. So, well, first off, Arturo, what do you do at Unity, and what's kind of your background?
Yeah, so I'm a technical evangelist for the Americas at Unity Technologies. I'm also a programmer. I'm a computer systems engineer, so I'm a programmer. I used to make games. Now I don't make games at Unity, but I help other people make games, right? With our tool, try to tell them about the new exciting features, working with our partners such as you to give them the best tools available. So that's what I do now at Unity. Yeah.
Nice. That's what I like to say. Even though I went out and was app evangelist, everyone's like, "Oh, but did you make it?" Like, yeah, I made apps. Of course, I know the product. And every time I would demo something, it was kind of like I was building a game, right? It's kind of like you know what's going on.
It's fun because when you're making a game, sometimes you spend a couple of months, maybe years making something. At this position, I get to do stuff like in 1 week or things. So you get to play with different features. So it's pretty fun.
Now, when I was starting doing game development, we built our own engine for the Xbox 360 from scratch, all C++. We wrote our own particle engines, our own editors, our own everything. It was fun. Quotes. So first, maybe can you give a high-level pitch of why someone, or what is Unity, and why people in game devs would want to use Unity itself?
Sure. So Unity, it's a game engine. It's a tool that allows other people to make games, right? Or even interactive applications, VR stuff, AR stuff. That's Unity in a nutshell. However, right now we're focusing on expanding what Unity provides, right? And as you were saying, in the past you had to make your own physics engine, particle systems engine, all these things, and people were doing that over and over and over again. So Unity decided, okay, let's focus not on the same thing, let's focus on innovation. So we are solving those problems for developers so they don't need to rewrite a physics engine again or the rendering engine. So they focus on creating something cool with available tools. That's what Unity is doing. And also another cool thing is that we are democratizing game development. So anyone can make a game, right? Even if you're not an engineer, maybe you are just a kid who wants to make games, you can get the software, you can play around with it and create your game. If you just want to, you're doing something else and you have the idea for a game, or you want to do something just for fun, then you can get Unity, start playing around with it, and do whatever you want to do. So that's what we are trying to do.
And it seems like when I use Unity, there is the code aspect to it. Like there's the scripting and the C# files that are associated with it. But a lot of work is also done just in the Unity editor. So what all does Unity, when I install Unity, what am I getting?
Okay, so when you install Unity, you will get a bunch of tools that will allow you to create basic games. Unity comes with some standard assets, so you can drag and drop like a first-person controller. So without coding, you can have a camera moving around a room, etc. It doesn't come with 3D models, so you won't be able to right away create stuff. However, recently we started fixing that problem, right? Because people used to download Unity and then they see like, oh, this is complex. There's nothing here. Should I start making art? Should I start writing code, etc.? So we don't want to scare people away. So we acquired a couple of asset store publishers, and we'll get back to the asset store thing in a bit. So we now have a free tool that allows people to create levels, to prototype levels within the Unity editor. So they can start playing around. They don't need to code at first. If they want to create more features, of course they can. And also we have the asset store, which is a service where developers can go and if they need music, if they need code, if they need art, they can just download them. Some of them are free, some of them are on sale. But yeah, they can start making stuff super quick.
Now, what if I'm a creator? What if I'm not a game dev and I am someone that makes art, graphics, textures?
Yeah.
Can I get into this Unity ecosystem?
Yeah, absolutely. So we try to bring as many people as possible. We want them to create. Maybe if you're just if you're an artist or you are working on texturing, you don't want to make a full game, but you want to collaborate with other people. So you can take community. The Unity community is big, so you will find someone who needs someone with your profile, so you can work together. The asset store also, if you are working on textures, you can put them for sale, and other developers without your skills will find them and will use them for their games. So
that's kind of cool. So I'm a new developer, I'm coming in, Unity's going to provide a bunch of stuff for me, but I need a sword, and I need a chest, and I need coins, and I need textures, and I need coin sounds and stuff like that. I can go to the asset store.
Yes. And
I'm assuming there's going to be stuff there for me.
Yeah, all those things. I've seen packages with all those things. Maybe if you want to do something like less conventional, you will need to get them done. But yeah, if you just want to prototype, let's say you want to make a cool AR installation, VR installation, you can start prototyping with these models that are free, and then once you have the experience you want, you can hire someone to make the assets for you.
And it sounds like I'm doing a lot, so there is some game part of it, but you were mentioning VR, some MR. Like with Unity, what platforms, like what am I targeting? Is it just PC, Mac, like what's going on?
That's a good question, and that's also a super exciting feature we have, that we support more than 25 platforms. So if you're a developer, you want to target most of the time as many platforms as possible, right? Because you don't know where your target is, you're trying to figure out where should you be making console games or PC games or mobile games. So you want to have one build, and then one project, and then build to many platforms. We actually partner a lot with you guys, so we support your platforms, even newest ones such as HoloLens. So if you want to make stuff for the HoloLens, and if you know Unity because you were making a game, you already know like 90% of the stuff you need to know to develop for HoloLens. So
that's very cool.
Yeah, we support like Xbox, we support PC, we support mobile platforms, and more than 25 platforms.
That's nice. And as a game developer, I can now create my game in Unity, kind of get out there on all the platforms. Is there any as a game developer yourself, and I'm really only focused on only Xbox 360 back in the day.
Yeah.
But are there some intricate parts to releasing on so many platforms, and does Unity help in that process?
Yeah, so Unity helps a lot because we take care of all the low-level stuff. For instance, how to render something into an Xbox architecture versus an Android phone. It's different, right?
Yeah.
So we take care of the low-level things, but still, what we don't solve, and maybe we're not trying to solve, is like interaction, right? So you could be supporting two platforms, but one allows you to have a nice controller, such as the one from Xbox One, but the other one is just a touch screen. Maybe the same experience won't get to both sides, right?
Yeah.
So on the technical side, Unity solves a lot of issues. It's more on the creative side, in the interaction side, and also on understanding the technical specs of each platform, right? Because they are different machines.
Sure, you're not going to attempt to run a 4K game on your Android device, so you need to do some customization work there, I guess, to make sure that you're targeting. And that's a good point, because some of these devices have multiple inputs. If you think of Switch, it's got touchscreen and not touchscreen, and Pro controller, Xbox, different controllers, different Elite controllers, and same thing with all these virtual reality things you're checking in. So how does that work? Is that on the code side of it, or is that in the Unity editor, or what's some of the
So it depends on which systems. For instance, we have in the XR space, we are abstracting the APIs from different vendors.
Oh, cool.
So developers just focuses on programming something once. Like let's say you want to track where a controller is in the world, right? If you are targeting different platforms, then each of those platforms have their own inputs system. So what we want to do, and we're working on, is okay, let's say just drag whatever it is plugged in, and Unity will take care of figuring out if it's a Vive controller, Oculus controller, etc. So that's how it works. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to take a look and ask you a bunch of questions on the actual in the editor inside of Visual Studio. Kind of look at how those things work together. I think I essentially work with Visual Studio developers every single day.
Yeah.
As a Visual Studio developer, that's where I want to be. It makes me warm and fuzzy when I'm editing my code in there. So can we take a look and
yeah,
run
sure.
through some stuff?
So this is the Unity editor. I have one project from a game development studio in Belgium. This is called Anti-Graviator.
I was going to say, your skills are very impressive.
Yeah. Well, sadly, I didn't make any of these assets. I'm going to show you the demo real quick so you get an idea of what's going on here. I have this futuristic racing game. There are many things going on: lighting, physics, inputs, post-processing effects, etc. And yeah, this is built in just with the stuff that you download from the internet. If you go to unity3d.com/getunity, you get all the tools to do something like this. Of course, you will need the assets and stuff, but you could do something like this. I'm not using like
real
any special,
games.
any special thing. So the architecture of the project is really simple. We have a project window over here. So all the assets you want to use in your game, and when I say assets, I talk about videos, models, textures, materials, C# scripts, shader scripts, all of those things are go there. I have the hierarchy window over here, so this is what I have in my actual game, the game objects that I have there. In this case, I'm going to zoom out, and you can see that I have a kind of complex scene because I have all the track at once. So this is a huge model. Everything here looks nice. I have a camera, so Unity takes care of the rendering, takes care of figuring out how the light should bounce from one place to the other.
So it has a lighting engine, a physics engine, everything's built
all those things. So what I need to do if I'm creating this game is to create the actual interaction, right? If I want to make this ship to move, Unity doesn't have a move ship in a futuristic game script, right? You need to code that thing.
That's not included in the box. Come on.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I want. You know, I'm building this futuristic ship.
Yeah, I know. So usually we use C# and all the features included in C#. In fact, we recently updated our mono version to a newest version of.
So you're running .NET inside of the game, correct?
Yes.
Using Mono, which is our open source .NET that runs essentially everywhere.
Yeah.
You're going to do a bunch of custom work on top of it, but it's Mono.
Yeah.
So I'm building C#. So that kind of speaks to me as a Xamarin Dev, because I'm building apps.
Yes.
I'm essentially leveraging what existing libraries. Like, what if I have a library and some C# that's just crunching a bunch of math numbers? Can I just plug it in?
You can. There are of course some restrictions, but as a quick answer, you should be able to do that if you already have existing code written in C# that if your code work with a C# version and the .NET version that we have here, it should
compatibility.
Yeah, the compatibility. So
makes sense.
yeah. So in this case, we use C#. You know, it's an object-oriented language, so you can use it as that. But in Unity, we kind of change the way we work, right? So instead of just creating a huge class, a huge hierarchy of objects, what we tell people to do, or we recommend, is working on a component-oriented way. So you will be creating components. Let's say this component allows the object to move.
Okay.
So I drag and drop a component. Let me go here to the ship. I have this component over here that is called vehicle movement, right?
Vehicle movement. So it's going to kind of manage all the vehicle movement.
Yes, all the movement. So imagine I have another type of vehicle. I just drag and drop this component, and that object will be able to move.
So I don't just have ship and then have everything about the ship. It's like this is the vehicle movement. This is a collision. This is a whatever.
And if you want to, let's say, if you want to drive this, if you want the user to drive this using the keyboard, then you just plug the player input. But if you want AI to control the ship, then you plug in an AI controller. So this is how it works. But the code is essentially the same. You just need to kind of think in a different way. But you could work the same way you use C#.
Got it.
So let me just open this script real quick.
So you just double tapped it.
I double tapped it.
Launches Visual Studio.
Launches Visual Studio.
Any edition? Free community edition?
I'm using Professional Edition, but works with any edition. So you don't need to pay anything, and that's a cool thing. You can make cool games. You can make money, and the tools are for free. Microsoft allows people to use the community edition. It has everything you need to make a game. There's nothing else there. So here's my script. It's kind of large, but it does a lot of things here, right? This is for demo purposes. So most of the tools you use for development stuff in Visual Studio apply to Unity. Of course, there are some things that don't kind of make sense in the game development context, but if you just want to debug code, if you just want to have a nice colored code there, if you want to do some kind of tests, you can do them here.
So you get the IntelliSense, you get the productivity gains, you get all the things in the styling. You like a dark theme.
Correct. Which theme you use?
I use default blue.
Okay.
It's very interesting. I'm just weird. I demo so often that it's really easy to see from far away. I don't know. I'm just default light theme. Even Visual Studio Code, light theme.
Okay.
It even installs with dark theme as a light theme. I'm weird.
That's interesting because on Visual Studio Code I use the light theme.
Oh really?
But here I don't know. It's just like a preference. It's weird.
That's funny.
But I don't use the same always. So here's the code. Usually, if you install Unity, Unity will tell you, okay, you want to install Visual Studio in 2018.1. It will be the default IDE for Mac also.
So Unity 2018.1.
Yes.
Is that out? Can I get that today? Is it beta?
You can get a beta. I think we're on beta 11.
Okay.
So if you want to play around with this stuff, you can get it. But the stable version is 2017.3. So but you can always get the beta. So once you install Unity, it will tell you, I will recommend you to install Visual Studio. So as soon as you finish the installation process, you have everything here. Perfect. In case you were using another IDE, you can simply go to the settings here. I always forget where these things are. Project settings. Is this on project settings? No. It's on preferences.
It's always hiding.
Yeah, well, here. So here in external tools.
Okay, so right there, you just modify what you want.
Yeah, so I want to use Visual Studio, so there's there. Unity will create all the files needed for Visual Studio to know this is a Visual Studio solution project, etc. Right? So
what happened when you loaded it in Visual Studio? I know it opened that file, but it seemed like there's other stuff open too.
Yeah, so I have another set of scripts in the same solution, so these scripts are already there. I can take a look at the rest of my assets. So let me just go to View, Unity Project Explorer, this is something interesting because in the past, if you wanted to use an IDE external to monodevelop, you had to do some sort of hacks or install stuff to your computer to make the IDE able to recognize this as a Unity project. So in this case,
it knows.
It knows, right?
Very cool.
So this is a special window, kind of like a subset of the usual Project Explorer. So if I go here to Unity, you will see that I have more assets than the ones I see on Visual Studio. But the thing is, I don't really need to know about a scene asset in Visual Studio, right?
Yeah, you care about the code.
I care about the code. So it will automatically detect the add-ons I have, so the scripts that are there, the shaders that I have there, and I can open them, I can get all the IntelliSense, I can get all the color
For
coding.
shaders too.
For shaders too.
So even more than just your C# scripts, or all of your shaders
correct.
are crazy complex.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Very
So,
cool.
so you can do this. You can do also some debugging. So in this case, I was showing something like you want to make sure that your game runs smoothly. Like let's say if you're targeting a console, maybe you want 60 frames per second or something, but you also want the game to be correct, right? You don't want people to go. You need to go to give 3 laps here, and then after lap number 1, you don't want the player to win, right? You want to be fair and stuff. So you need some tools to debug. You need some tools to know, okay, what's going on here. And also this is where Visual Studio it's great, because instead of just printing everything, you know, when you're starting making
print
codes,
line,
debug,
You're
log.
reading the stream of I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and it's difficult. It also is prone to more errors, because at the end of the day you will be the one trying to find stuff. So you can do some cool debugging here. So for instance, what I'm going to do here is I have this thing called the lap checker. So I'm going to be checking if the lap is if the ship just collided with the lap, right? So I'm going to detect that thing. So let's say I'm having some issues. The player is winning after just 1 lap. Where the issue is, what the values are. So it's super simple. I'm just going to tell, okay, I'm going to insert a breakpoint here. So I want the Visual Studio to notify me once this function gets executed.
Yeah, so
right?
that action has occurred in the game.
Yeah.
When that happens, stop.
Yeah,
and let me look at what's happening.
That's correct. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to add a breakpoint. I'm going to insert the breakpoint over here. You can see this special icon, and there are multiple features here that once you see them, you are like, okay, I needed that thing. It's super useful. So sometimes you don't want to be removing the breakpoints, right?
Yeah.
And you just want to say, oh, I don't need it that breakpoint at this moment, but maybe later. So you can just turn in, activate it or deactivate it, which is super fun. So I'm going to activate the breakpoint here. I'm going to tell it to attach Visual Studio to the Unity process.
All right, so right now they're disconnected.
Yeah, they are disconnected. Basically, they are just modifying files, one or the other, but they are not connected. They cannot see what's in the Unity side or vice versa. So I need to attach it. I need to attach it to Unity. There's this cool option called Attach to Unity and Play, which once I do this, will also play the Unity editor, which is super cool.
You don't have to have the game running. If you have the game running, you can attach.
Yes.
If you don't have the game running, attach and play.
You can attach and play. So
cool.
Now it's already launched here.
Boom.
And then it looks like it crashed. It didn't crash. What is going on is, okay, Visual Studio is talking to Unity and it's telling me, okay, something happened here.
Yep.
The onTrigger function got called, so inspect whatever you want to inspect. In this case, I had the feeling that there was something going on there. So a cool thing is I can inspect the values of the variables there.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do the debug.log. Send me 1 million messages per second of what the value is here. I'm literally going in the memory and seeing the value that I have here. So debug mode, this variable I have here is set to false. Is ready is also set to false, right?
Got it.
Maybe the issue is not there. I can step over, so I can inspect the functions, go into them, and get a better idea of what's going on. So it's super useful. In this case, the code is working, but I think it's important for users to know what this tool is for, especially, and this is another important thing, most of our users were not necessarily game programmers or programmers at all.
Yeah.
So these tools are new for some people, right? So why would I know about debugging? Who's telling me about debugging?
Yeah.
And this is not trivial. If you wanted to do this like hard-coded. This is difficult to do, and with Visual Studio, it's super simple. It's super simple, and it's very useful. It actually saves a lot of time. So I'm going to stop it here. You can, as I was saying, you can step into, you can be checking different calls to different functions. If you want to know other stuff in your code, you can inspect as much as you want. But I think it's good just to know that this is possible.
And it works, yeah. And it's super easy. It looked like it just kind of kicked off the game within a few seconds. And
correct.
Very cool.
And you can have many breakpoints as you want in different parts of your code.
So I'm debugging, playing my game. I'm hitting, like, did I collide with this bottom? Did I not do this? There's an adorable corgi that's walking by. Distraction. No one saw it, but there's an amazing corgi. So there's a lot happening in Visual Studio and Unity and Mono. Can you talk about the new hotness that's coming out? We talked a little bit about 2018.1, but I'm excited because there's some activity here. I know I have a lot of friends that are Unity devs who are like, I want to use this feature, I want to use that feature of C# or .NET. What's happening?
So we have multiple things coming up in 2018.1 on almost every system of Unity. One of the cool things is that we are allowing people now to modify the rendering pipeline using C#. The way Unity renders stuff, it's kind of like a black box. So users, as of today, they cannot do many things if they want to solve a specific rendering issue or use a specific technique they want. In 2018, we're allowing them to do so, and we're allowing them to do so via C#. So all the tools we're talking about will apply to them too, and it's really powerful, right?
Very cool.
Also, we're updating some old libraries, some old versions of the monocompiler. We are leaving experimental or preview mode of .NET 4.6. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, it's really cool.
People have been asking us for this for years. Even before I joined Unity, I was asking for stuff like this. So this is coming. Features of C#6 are coming. Some features in mostly also things regarding how people will program the games. We have something called the Entity Component System, which will open a new world of performance and optimizations for advanced users mostly. We are improving the engine, like stuff you won't notice. You will say like, oh, I don't really know what's going on behind the hood, but your games will run faster.
Nice.
We're making sure that the engine runs faster so you can put more stuff into your game, right?
Very cool.
So those kind of things are coming. Support to multiple platforms is coming. We have great partners such as you guys. So we are excited about all these new features, all these new platforms, AR, XR, all these things, MR. It's super exciting.
All the whatever R's that are out there, all the realities.
All the realities,
And I know one of the big things is with that move to the latest version or newer versions of Mono, C#, is support for .NET standard libraries as well, which a lot of people may not know what that means. From a .NET perspective, that's how we're building libraries. So it means a lot of those libraries that are out there today that a lot of Xamarin devs or other .NET devs have been using or publishing to like NuGet, the Unity developers can start leveraging this broader actual ecosystem because there's a lot of work that had to go into specialized Unity packages. Now it'll be easier for library creators.
And that's what we encourage people, like, don't reinvent the wheel if it's not needed. We prefer people, or we want them to innovate in other ways besides stumbling upon writing another math library or something like that. So if there's stuff that is already there, it's better if they can just plug and play that.
Last question for you. We did a lot of stuff on a Windows machine. I got a Surface Book here, but I also got my MacBook down there. Can I do all this on other operating systems? What's that look like?
You can, and that's another cool thing. Visual Studio, it's also available on a Mac, and the experience is the same thing. So there was not a point of me switching between computers. The experience is the same. Thing. It's comfortable. It's great to have your environments across platforms because sometimes you want to deploy to a certain platform and you need to use a Mac, right? So you don't want to change.
Especially iOS stuff is just
correct. So it's available also on Mac. The experience is the same. The tools are or the goal is to have the same tools. But since we're we're working so close with you guys, I think the goal is to have the same experience across platforms. So that's also super good question and super exciting thing.
Very cool. So where can people go? Is it just unity.com?
They can go to unity3d.com.
Okay.
And they can get samples, they can get the engine, they can get tutorials, they can get a list of events that we have across the entire globe. So if they want to know more, they want to talk about Unity to Unity folks, they should go to the website.
Unity3D.com.
Yes.
Go check it out. Go check out all the great integrations to Visual Studio, and check out the 2018.1.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about all the new hot bits that are coming out. Arturo, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thanks for everyone tuning in, and come back in just a few minutes. We'll be back at GDC Live.